I'm Shanti, and good evening to everyone present today. A very warm welcome, and I'm sure you're courageous to be here on time with all the traffic and rains and everything, so a special welcome to all. And today we have our special program, that is Resilience and Tolerance in this Turbulent World, and we have our brother Golo here. He is an international speaker, an engineer, and has been practicing meditation for over 35 years now. He's from German origin, but at the moment is based in India, the headquarters of Brahma Kumaris. And he is a research guy. He's in research and R&D, basically, about the renewable energies. And he's the instrument to start the India One project, and he'll share about what it is. And he has another 20 different projects which are related to how to use solar power in cooking, in storing, and various other aspects of our daily routine. So he's going to share the first half, and then we've got Sister Sonja from Denmark, and she is the instrument for Brahma Kumaris Copenhagen Center, and she will share with us in the other half. So over to both our speakers today. A special welcome to both of you, and I hand over to them. Thank you.
1, 2, can you hear me? 1, 2, 1, 2. Yeah, good evening to everybody, and thank you very much for coming, and thanks for the wonderful introduction. I feel honored and I'm blushing. So many good things you said. Our title today is about tolerance and resilience in turbulent times. And as you heard, we had been just recently to the climate conference in Copenhagen. We just came back 2 days ago. And I will give a short overview what happened at the climate conference, so you get a bit of an education what happened there. I will shortly also talk about climate change, what's actually happening. Then I give an introduction on renewable energy projects of Brahma Kumaris, and then I come to the area. Can we reduce a little bit? I hear myself, yeah. And then we come to the area of the spirituality and how spirituality actually can help you in this critical time. Huh? Okay, and then Sonja will come and we'll do a little bit of an interactive session with you to find out what is your speciality, your inner speciality in your inner value, how you can deal best with the times to come. Okay, so let us start. The first slide is about Sir David Attenborough, and he said the collapse of civilization and the natural world is at the horizon. So Sir David Attenborough is a very famous BBC filmmaker and has made very famous films on nature, and he said the collapse of civilization is at the horizon. Why is that so? Well, the reason is climate change has already advanced quite a lot. You might experience in UK also some strange weather. Sometimes it's becoming too hot, or sometimes it's not raining enough. Sometimes you have a drought or this and that. And the reason is that our weather is actually controlled by 12 different systems, and they're called tipping points in climate. You have here, for example, the Atlantic circulation. This brings the warm water to the coast of Cornwall. You know, that's the heating for UK, but for whole Central Europe. We have here El Nino, which is a circulation in the Pacific, and we have the Indian and the African summer monsoon. These are big circulation systems. And then we have the biosphere. This is the Amazon rainforest, tropical coral reefs, and very important, the big northern forests here in Siberia, as well as in Canada. And lastly, we have the big ice fields, Arctic sea ice, Greenland ice shield, and the West Arctic ice shield. And then we have methane also, and we have the permafrost. These are big components which are controlling our climate. And in a report some 2-3 years ago, which was published, they were called tipping points, because once one of these systems starts moving, it's connected to other systems, and then it will find a new stage of balance. What does it mean? This Atlantic circulation, for example, has become 15% weaker already. They measured it. They thought it will take thousands of years, but already it starts to slow down. The forests here in Canada and in Siberia, you might have heard of mega fires. You heard of mega fires? So there are mega fires. The mega fire is 30 by 30 kilometer is burning. So they have 20, 30, 40 mega fires going on, and nobody's there and recognizing it because nobody lives there. In Canada, in the summer, you might have heard that huge areas were burning. Half the size of Scotland burned away last year. And so very dramatic loss of forest here. And the forest is regulating also our climate. At the same time, methane, permafrost is melting. And in the permafrost, billions and millions of tons of CO2 are stored. And methane gas is stored. This is coming up because it's coming out of the permafrost. So all this, the Indian summer monsoon this year was 6 weeks delayed. So it came 6 weeks later. And actually when I came to India in September, there was the most heavy rain, which is very, very unusual. And even now, there were heavy rains with floodings and so on and so on. So we can see that these big systems are already moving. Same is with the Arctic ice, sea ice. It is melting at a very high speed. Greenland ice sheet also. Here, this is relatively stable. Most of the water is stored here. If this melts, if all the ice melts, the seawater level will rise 60 meters. Then London, then the water would come up to here, up to Wembley. Just to give you an idea how critical the situation could be if things get out of control. Now what happened is these systems already all show signs of changes, you know? And science is telling us once these systems are really moving out of their balance, then it will become critical to stop it. This is why science says it's so important to stay below 1.5 degrees global warming. At the moment, we're at 1.1, 1.2 degrees globally. In Europe, already more, but average is 1.1, 1.2. And the science is telling us we have only 10 years in which we can decide if we stay below 1.5 or not. And in these 10 years to come, actually drastic change of lifestyle is required. Unfortunately, at Glasgow, at the climate conference, that was not decided. No? It was like a lukewarm compromise. So what is the outlook? The outlook is quite dramatic. We will have droughts. We will have huge fires. This is the River Rhine. 2 years ago, there was no more water in the River Rhine, which never happened before, and they had to stop the ships. And this is Florida. If the seawater level rise 20 meters, half of Florida will be gone. So you can see very dramatic situation. And many people are worried, and there is a new psychological disease. It's called climate anxiety. Many people who are dealing in the climate field, they have a lot of anxiety and they're worried. So as we are spiritual people, it is extremely important for our mental health and happiness that we stay, I pushed the wrong button, see, that we stay optimistic. And you can see here, we have here a very interesting situation. These two animals are extremely optimistic. On the one side, you have the elephant, and the elephant is very optimistic that the monkey can hold him, you know. And the monkey on the other side is very optimistic that he can catch the elephant and keep him. So both are very optimistic, and that is what we also should do. We should be very optimistic, and we should have a smile on our face. Why I'm saying so? It is, as every psychologist, company trainer, politician will tell you, it's very, very important to have an optimistic mindset if you want to solve a problem. If you're pessimistic, it is very, very difficult, and it's not good for the body. You become sick if you're a long time pessimistic. So let's stay optimistic, and let's see what we can do and how we can deal with the climate situation. So first of all, big question is, this is not my pointer, so I'm always pushing the wrong button, sorry. So what we have to do is how to reach there to change that situation. And first of all, we have to raise the consciousness and awareness, because we understand that any change which is happening in the world has to happen first in ourselves. Imagine you want to build a house. Then what you are going to do, you first visualize the house in your mind. It has 3 floors, it will have a blue color, and it will have a roof like this, and I will make a nice balcony. Then you take pencil and then you start drawing, and then you call the engineers, and then you call the construction company. So it all starts in your consciousness and in your awareness. So we believe that if we want to change the world, we have to change our consciousness and awareness. The climate crisis is a reflection what happens on the inside of all of us collectively. And if we raise our awareness and our consciousness, things will change also on the outside, because our actions will change. Very simple example, if you love yourself and you love the world, your actions automatically will reflect that. And very simple, what you love, you don't destroy. Huh? What you love, you don't destroy, isn't it? You love your family, so you look after it. If we love planet Earth, we would look after it. If we love animals, we will look after them. So change in the world, dealing with climate crisis, starts on the inside. Then we have to change drastically our lifestyle. And we have to reduce our carbon footprint. The average carbon footprint at the moment globally is about 4 tons per year. In Europe, we are all above 10 tons, 12 tons, 15 tons carbon emission per year. The reason is a lot of light, a lot of heating, a lot of car driving, a lot of flights, and we consume too many things. You know, an average Indian, he's only using 1.5 tons. You know, so India is not the problem, it is the West. It is us. So we have to change, and we have to reduce our carbon footprint. Then we have to use renewable energies as much as possible. And last not least, we have to become a healer. That is the magic. I will come to that magic also. So let us first say how we can raise awareness and consciousness. And there we have to use a bit our power of imagination. You know, there was a John Lennon song. Do you remember? Imagine all the people living in a better world. So we have to imagine that better world, you know, how it should look like. living in harmony with the forest, living in harmony with the plants, living in harmony with everybody else, living in harmony with animals, you know, with the water, with the air, with all the elements, and not exploiting them. So this is a big thing, and very, very important for that imagination is that we imagination a perfect and beautiful world. And everything, of course, is centered around love. If I love myself, I love others. This is the key. Everything else will fall into place. I will become a different person. I will change. Then peace is important. Harmony is important. Beauty, purity, bliss, perfection, prosperity, happiness, timeless, just. So all these things you visualize in your mind of a better world. And you will have an incredible power because what you think in your mind happens in reality. I will a little bit later come back to that point and explain a bit more in detail how that is functioning. So let us come to the next. The Brahma Kumaris is raising awareness and consciousness through the Brahma Kumaris Environmental Initiative. And Sister Sonja and myself, we are old veterans of the climate negotiation because we started to participate at the UN conference since Copenhagen. And since then, 10 or 12, Sonja? 12 climate conferences we have participated, and we advocate the 5 R's. Rethink before you do anything. What's the impact? You know? Then reuse as much as possible. Reduce your consumption, recycle, and refuse to follow all the trends. If you follow the 5 R's, then you automatically reduce your carbon footprint and you live more in harmony with nature. You will think twice before you buy something and you will think, do I really need it? Or maybe I can share my things with others which are in need. You know, if you open our cupboard and we look inside, we can see we have so many cloth and so many things which are just lying there. Maybe we can do a bit more sharing. Maybe we can reduce our consumption because this is what is required. And Brahma Kumaris has this environmental initiative, and our slogan is creating a climate for change. And we have the 10 ways to change the world. Live simple, open the heart, eat well, follow your dream, and so on. And we try to inspire people to become a change maker, become a visionary, become a peacemaker, become a caregiver, creator, and so on. And we are going to the climate conference. And as you can see, this is a recent photo from just last week. Here's our Valerian, and this is our Maureen. And this is an interreligious dialogue inside the climate conference. And we are teaming up with all other religions, with the Christians, with the Buddhists, with the Muslims, with all of them. And we're trying to create a united front. And we have created a declaration, and jointly all religions have handed it over to the United Nations official representative and says this is the voice of the religions, because 80% of the world population, they belong to a religious group. No? So religion is very powerful, and of course all religious people would like to preserve the creation and keep the planet intact. So we are very active in this field and trying to do whatever is possible to create a united front and give a powerful message. We also do press conferences with other research people, and we have exhibition and stand where we sort of exhibit all these kind of things and try to be very active in the field of awareness and education. Okay, so now coming to the next point, renewable energies. Brahma Kumaris is a recognized research center in India. Since 25 years, we are active in the field of solar energy, and we're doing research in this area. We're doing research in this area of photovoltaic, solar steam, water, solar hot water, solar passive architecture, solar thermal, and energy efficiency. So a lot of areas, and we have carried out around 25, 30 research projects in the last 25 years. And I will show you some. Here you can see, wow, look, my picture is trembling from the train underneath. It's the first time. It's special. So, and you can see here, for example, a 50 kilowatt installation in our headquarters in Mount Abu. And Brahma Kumaris is a spiritual organization which has 5,000 meditation centers in India. And So we are slowly trying to equip all our meditation centers with the solar system. Already 600 centers have been equipped with the solar system, so you can imagine it's a big work to maintain all these solar systems all over India. So this is in our headquarters in Gyan Sarovar, and I'm staying there, and this is a 50 kilowatt solar power plant. Then here you can see our Om Shanti Retreat Center, which is near Delhi. You can see here a 400 kilowatt power plant, and here also a solar steam cooking system. We use these solar systems with a battery, so in case there is a power failure, we still have electricity. So this is a very special layout. So we have totally at the moment around 500 of these systems all over India, and also many of our centers in foreign or retreat places we have equipped with the solar system. So it's quite a big operation to do that. Here you can see now a different technology, solar technology. This is a solar steam cooking system, and this solar steam cooking system is based on a small parabolic concentrator, and the sunlight is reflected to a mirror, which is here, and in the mirror there is, in the receiver there's water. And because the sunlight is concentrated, the water starts boiling, and when you have boiling water, what do you get? Steam. Yes, very good. And the steam we send into the kitchen, and we are cooking food, and we cook rice, 2,000 meals per day, and we cook rice, dal, and lentils, and we can make vegetable soup. Temperature is up to 160 degrees, 170 degrees. We cannot make chapati, and we cannot make parotas or any of these kind of things. So it has some limitation by the temperature. And this project was sponsored by the German government, by the GTZ, in 1997, long time ago. And interestingly, this system is still fully running and operational. Anybody who wants to learn how to do it, he can come visit us. We teach you, the technology is free. It's not, no copyrights, no? It's something very special, no? Something very good is freely available. So here you can see our Shantivan Complex and the hall for 20,000 people. This is in Abu Road, our big complex where we have seminars for large groups. And you can see here a solar cooker. And here you can see the photovoltaic installations. Meanwhile, we have in Shantivan around 200 kilowatt of photovoltaic, and the solar cooker has been installed in 1999 and is made out of 84 parabolic concentrators. We made them a little bit bigger, and we can cook 35,000 meals every day. And the cost at that time was $250,000 US, but meanwhile, because of the saving of fuels, already the payback is after 6 years. So we're already getting money out of that plant. And we hope that we get a lifespan of 25, 30 years. So we paint it, we repair it, and it's running and running and running, and we patch it and see that it runs, but it's okay. So here you can see our major kitchen, and we are sending the steam into the kitchen. And here the cooking pots, we're cooking, as I said, rice, dal, lentils, and also soup. And we cook for all these people. So you can see what is possible with solar technology. No? And now I would like to show you a last project. This is called India One. This is a solar thermal power plant. It is a research project which is sponsored by the Indian government, the German government, 50% German gave, 25% Indian government, and 25% came from the Brahma Kumaris. The total budget was £12 million. And the speciality is that this is a 1 megawatt solar thermal power plant with storage. It means we can store the energy overnight. And this is very special because storage of energy is the critical point for transition towards clean technology, you know. Everybody has to store the energy also, especially in night. And batteries are not big enough, not powerful enough. So how you store the electricity? So what we have done is, we have developed 60 square meter parabolic dish. The sunlight is reflected to the receiver, which is here. And the receiver is made out of 3 tons of cast iron. And we heat up the cast iron to 500 centigrades. And then we have a coil around the receiver, and we're pumping water through the coil, and the heat is transferred into the coil, into the water, and we generate steam. And the steam we send to the turbine, which is here. So this whole plant is made out of 770 dishes. They all follow the sun like sunflowers. It's all computer controlled. It's our own software development, our own motors for 2-axis tracking. And this was a very, very ambitious and very complicated project. We worked almost 10 years on the project. We had to involve the best research institutes in the world to help us with consultancy. We involved power station designers, research organizations, and so on. And here in the corner, you can see also 1 megawatt of solar photovoltaic. Here's also solar photovoltaic, which we added a little bit later. We planted 3,000 trees around the whole plant to make it green and environmental friendly. And here we have organic farming. So we try to make it not only a power station, but also a green garden, and we also try to produce vegetables. There we have some cows, we have our own milk, we have our own fruits and our own vegetables. So it's a very, very nice setup. This plant is inaugurated 3 years ago and is running since then without major problems. And here you can see our team, and here you can see Dadi Gulzar and Dadi Janki. They both left us last year. They were the head and additional head of the institution. They came quite regular to the power plant. And you can see our team of engineers. We are all volunteers, and we are all active in maintenance now of the plant. We're about 30 brothers who live there and maintain the power station. And here you can see a picture of our training and education. Over the years, we carried out 50 workshops for engineers and trained them in this technology. And we also have special workshops and training for the workers. And we train them in skills, cleanliness, and safety protocol, and so on and so on. So we really try to upgrade them. So you have seen we do a lot of activities in renewable energies. And now I come to the last part, to the healer, which is the magic part. So how to heal yourself and then heal the world. And that is the tricky part, because that is the magic which we all need. And I would like to introduce you to you our late Dadi Janki. Dadi Janki was 103 years old. She left us last year. She was based also in London, and she was the head of the institution, and she was a great inspiration to me. I was knowing Dadi right from the beginning, since almost 40 years. And it is this wisdom of these elderly ladies which made all the solar projects possible. And in the climate conference, there was a big discussion going on, and about gender, about the role of women. And then we always said, see, Brahma Kumaris has women, and the women, they promote the use of solar energy. Isn't that interesting? So if women would rule the world, we would probably have less problems. No? Do you agree? Huh? You agree? Okay, fair enough. So Dadi had spiritual teaching, and Dadi always inspired us. And she said, she was very straightforward, and she says, become an angel, be a helper of God, be loving and compassionate, be a healer for the world, and be a guide to the light. So, be a guide to a light means you become a lighthouse. And a lighthouse is giving guidance to the ships, especially in the darkness. So, Dadi says, when you meditate regular, you will connect to your true self. Your true self is the inner light, is the inner values and the ethic, the love, the compassion, the peace. When you connect to them, it will become part, and you will strengthen it on the inside, and then you will radiate it out, and then you can start helping others, and you can start helping the world. This is how, when we heal ourselves, we are going on the spiritual path, we can become a healer also for the world. Very, very important mechanism. And Dadi said the tool, the most powerful tool, is meditation or yoga, which means connection with the divine for self-enlightenment. So this was the message of our Dadi. And she says, then, when you are in that stage, you start radiating this positive atmosphere of love and compassion. And it will help the earth. Now, how it will help the earth, I will show you. There's one project called Sustainable Yogic Farming. We started it 10 years ago. We work with 5,000 farmers, and we teach them meditation, and we say, you meditate with the seeds and you meditate with the land. So you say to the seeds, I love you, you're my friend, you're very good, and you say the same thing to the seeds, to the land, and then you see that's what happens. This is the seeds, and we meditate with them regular, and here you see the result after some time. So one result is here. This is wheat, and you can see without meditation and here with meditation. And the interesting result is that we don't need fertilizer and we don't have pesticides. So it's organic farming, and the output is higher than without meditation, approximately 25 to 30% more. And we did the project with a agriculture university in Gujarat, and they confirmed our results. They even published an article in an agriculture magazine. An Indian government wants to work with us now. So, and here you see the same with carrots. And yes, little baby likes it. So here we have carrots. This is normal carrots. This is with meditation and yoga, and here's organic carrots. You see the carrots with meditation and yoga are the biggest one. The field and everything is the same. So it means your thoughts have an impact. Now I would like to explain just an experiment with Ellen Lange, a professor of Harvard, and she's the founder of positive psychology. She did experiments about the power of mind, what the mind can actually do. And she did an experiment with young students, and she gave them a crossword puzzle, and half of the students she gave a crossword puzzle with positive words, you know, love, compassion, happiness, power, and so on. And the other half, she gave a crossword puzzle with negative words, like I hate you, you're a bad guy, ugly, disease, sickness, and so on. So for 2 hours, they had to do the crossword puzzle, and then she took the whole students and says, okay, you go in the next building, in the 3rd floor, there will be another experiment. What she did not tell them was that she had a camera in the staircase, and she was measuring the time they needed. So the students with a positive crossword, they were all walking, da-dum, da-dum, and when the stairs came, they were chung, 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 and they went up and they were in the room. And the students with a negative crossword, they were walking like old people. And when the stairs came, they were like, ay, 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 ay. And they took all double the time, just by 2 hours dealing with positive affirmations or negative affirmations. Then she made the same thing with old people in an old people's house, in old people home. She divided them in 2 groups. They were around 80, so 2 groups, all the same problems, you know, average, same. And one group she kept in one house which was normal. Same food, same television, same books, same entertainment, no change. The other group she put in a house which was equipped and designed like it was built in the 1960s. And she asked them also to put on the cloth of 1960. They got the food of 1960. The television program was old news from 1960. The books and the newspaper were from 1960. And she told them to talk on the things which happened in 1960. After 3 months, she put both groups together and she examined the people afterwards. And there was a dramatic change in the health condition of the people who stayed in the house which was designed in the 1960s. The reason was all these old people, they suddenly thought they're 40 years younger. You know, because she asked them to behave like that and think like that. Some people wanted to leave the old age home. They said, I don't want to stay anymore. I'm fit. I want to travel around the world, and so on. And even the health of them improved dramatically. You know, old people, they all have some chronic diseases. Some of these chronic diseases disappeared. And the results were extremely shocking. She says they did not expect such a dramatic result. So what does it mean? Our mind has an incredible influence on our bodies, but also on the plants, on the nature. We are all the time connected. This is actually what it means. So what you have to do, you have to think positive on yourself. Morning when you wake up, you have to say, I'm a good person. The day is very good. Then you have to think good on others. whoever I meet is my friend. Even if he's not your friend, you say, you are my friend, you're very good, everything is all right. And then you start thinking positive on the world. Can you do that? Huh? You see? And when you do that, you start changing, you change, you just pull a master switch. And suddenly you're connected to the energy, to the divine energy field. You become positive, you change your mindset, and you change the people around you. And this happens when you go into a positive mindset. So what you think matters. In the double sense of the world, it matters, and you influence matter. You know, so we have to follow a new paradigm. My inner world and the outer world are interconnected. And once I change on the inside, then climate change is no problem. See, it is said that only 2% of the population have to join. Then there will be a paradigm shift. 2% of the population have to wake up. Then critical mass is reached for change. So if we all wake up in a sense of spirituality and change our inner mindset, then climate change will be a very, very small problem, because then the mass of people will wake up and change. And that change which has to come individually from all of us on the inside. So, and therefore we have a new project called Yogis for Future. And what we did is we would like to offer people to meditation. So we uploaded 150 meditation commentaries, and 10 meditations are for the self, 10 meditations are for the world, 10 meditations are for nature, 10 meditations are for peace, 10 meditations are for love, and so on. You just can click a 6 minutes meditation, and you can tune into positive vibration. If you do that every day, your mindset will change, you will switch on the light, and you will become a lighthouse and a guidance for others. So, meditation and a change of thoughts are cooling the mind and create a new reality and a better world. So, I come to the end of this presentation, and I hope you are a little bit inspired about the connection of inside, what happens on the inside and what happens outside. You are better informed about climate change, and you know we are in a very critical situation, and we have to really change drastically in the next 10 years, you know. And you are also understanding a bit more about solar energy and what the Brahma Kumaris is doing there. And once you have time, you come to India, you are most welcome to visit us, and we will happily share also our technology with you. So thank you very much, and I would like now to introduce Sonja. Sonja is the backbone of our environmental service. She's since 12 years the secretary of the Environmental Initiative. She's meditation teacher since 35 years. She goes regular to the prison and teach the prisoners meditation, which is quite a job. She's doing this in many, many, many years. And we both have been to the last 12 years at all climate conferences, and she will do some interactive session with you on values. Thank you very much.
I give one of these to you. So thank you very much, Golo. Maybe you have... Yeah, it was a very informative session, a lot of information. So I'd like you to just share with your neighbor a few minutes what you took from the session with Golo. So if you turn just to the person next to you and say, hello, my name is, and I really like this point. And those of you who are listening online, you will have to reflect on with yourself. So just take a few minutes. You can sit. Yeah. You want to turn around? Yeah? You want to go and speak to this gentleman? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Very nice.
Back to the...
So, yeah, you stay on this.
On which one? On this one or on this one?
On this one.
Yeah, we're staying on that.
Yeah.
There's the time.
Yeah. And
You get confused. This is rubbish. This is forward. This is backwards. And this is the pointer.
This is forward.
Yeah, this will bring this.
Okay. Thank you very much. It's so much to learn. But now my question to you is, what would you like to put into practice to become more environmentally friendly in your way of thinking or in your lifestyle? And how can we support you in this? So take a moment to reflect. What would you like to do on a practical level? What kind of change would you like to make in your own life or in your thinking pattern? And the topic today was tolerance and resilience. So maybe you like to increase your inner strength, increase your tolerance to deal with the world. Or do you have a practical action you want to change? Maybe in your diet, maybe in exercise, maybe shopping less, consume less. So just take a moment to reflect. That's good. And we thought that we would get the help from the universe, how we can help you to implement this, to put it into practice. So we have some cards here with a positive value on it. And you will choose a card. And this card will help you to implement what you have to do. So Golo will walk around and you take a card from him which you think will help you to do what you have to do. And for those who are listening online, I'll ask you to choose a symbol here. These are for the online listeners. You choose a symbol. Yeah. So you can open your cards. So I can also walk around here. You take a card. Okay. You want a card for you and your little girl? Okay. Very good. All right, open the heart. Thank you very much. So now take a moment to reflect. How can this value here on the card help me to practice what I need to do? And then you share with the same person before, why did you take this card in particular? What is the message to you? And those who are listening online, you can reflect on your own here. You choose a symbol, and then this is the text of the symbol you choose. So you will have to reflect on your own, and you can divide into groups, and please go ahead. And you share with your neighbor why you think you pulled this card. You don't want to share? Yeah. You two want to share? Yeah, you can turn your... yeah. But there is one person alone there. There's a language barrier. Okay. You're sharing? Yeah, good. Yeah. Empowering yourself. What is the text? What is the text?
The text is, my capacity to help create sustainable future expansive and I tap into my spirit power. Thinking outside the box enables me to challenge the old paradigm. And, yeah, Sonja, that's for the shoes.
Yes, yes, thank you. Yeah.
So we put the chair in the center and we'll take the screen off because it's Baba behind.
No, we'll use one of the slides.
You have,
Yeah.
the art one and the Baba.
Yeah. All right. Maybe someone like to share, with everybody why you put this card. Anyone wants to share? Sir?
So, thank you, Sonja. So I have picked out Empower Yourself. So,
For the online listeners, yeah.
so I have picked out Empower Yourself. And I think, as a local politician, I think empowering the people around me, empowering the community is hugely important. But if I don't empower myself, then I think I would be lacking in empowering stuff around me or people around me. I think if I engage my inner self, then I'm able to be much more well equipped to empower my surrounding situation. So I think this card, when it says, when I connect with my inner qualities, virtues, and powers, I am able to perform wonders. And I think it is so true. If you just turn up, it's very much hollow. But if you are connected with your inner self, then that hollowness fills up very quickly, and you're able to perhaps reflect what you want to do outside once you have reflected what you are inside.
Beautiful, beautiful. Empower yourself. Anyone else got that card? Golo got that card? Yes? Yeah. And you want to share? Anyone else want to share? Yeah.
It's really interesting what that gentleman said over there. The reason is I'm a primary teacher, and I think quite often about future and children and where they're heading to. Sometimes I don't have answers, especially when we talk about climate change. So it's very useful for me to learn what we've discussed, and especially spending time on my own, I can think about more potential within me, because I had something similar, time alone spent in reflection or meditation. And I also want to make one quick point. Because we live in a city, we don't necessarily have this connection with nature. So it's really important that we try and spend some time in nature, in our local parks. I keep meeting people in Burham Park because it's my favorite park in the community. But I think that is really important. If you are asking people to, for an example, pay attention to climate change, it'll be very difficult if you don't have a connection with nature. So if nature is us, and then I think we should go into green. So yeah. Those are my thoughts.
Very good point, to connect to nature. Thank you for that. But actually, even though we live in the city, we can look up and look on the sky. And instead of looking at our phone all the time, we can actually just look up and you're connected immediately. So even so, and also have to have a lot of plants inside in your house. Make it green, full of plants. It's also helpful. And in the summer, make sure you walk barefoot on grass. You know, things like this, together with the kids.
What fears me is the pesticides. You know, they say that in the parks, like they have pesticides on the ground. So I wasn't very sure about walking.
So all the parks in Brent are pesticide free,
Yeah.
and all parks have been.
You need to say this on mic.
So you see, I was just going to say, if you are about the pesticides in your park, you go to your local politician, and here he is. He's saying.
So yes, thank you. So we have a new initiative where we are trying to create many more pocket parks all around us. So idea is that within a short walking distance, you should have a green patch, and we are calling it Pocket Park. You talked about Barham Park, so where we have large parks, we are leaving them unattended for the nature to take over. So we have wildflowers, wild meadows, natural flowers, butterflies, insects, and so on and so forth. So this is the new initiative to not just to have very fancy-looking parks, but natural-looking parks, and that is the growing popularity. And you will see that has really taken off over the past 2 years.
Thank you very much. You know, when we stop and look at nature, and you maybe not in a park, maybe you're just passing a flower somewhere, and if you stop and look at it, you get this sense of wonder. And the sense of wonder is very nourishing for the spirit and also for the kids. The problem is that we don't stop. We walk very fast on the street, so even though there is pot plants in the window, you don't see them. Or even if there is a little plant that have come up between the pavement, made its own way, we don't see it because we walk too fast. Or we look at the phone, we don't look up. So that's why we have to learn to stop and see the sense of wonder around us. And that is giving nourishment to the soul. Because when we feel powerless, when we don't know what to do, but when we learn to stop, and you get the sense of wonder of life, and then you get the energy, and new ideas will come. But now we'll do a meditation. We finish with a meditation, and I think the sense of wonder can also appear when we turn inside. And the sense of wonder of being here in this moment, together with you in this room, to be alive at this point of time, to be able to breathe, is also a sense of wonder, isn't it? To sit together. So let's stop and have a meditation. Is that okay for everybody? Yes. Thank you. Get my chair here. So I ask you to sit straight on your chair and put both legs on the floor. And start the meditation by relaxing the body, because the body is also a wonder. So you relax your feet and your legs. You feel the connection to the floor and the train and the earth. You relax your shoulders, your arms and hands. You relax your neck, the muscles in your face. And you take a deep breath. To the bottom of your stomach. And when we breathe in peace and love. So we keep breathing in peace and love. And enjoy the wonder of breathing. We share the same air with everybody else on this planet. And the water, and the soil, and all the elements. We turn our attention within and imagine that there is much more to me than this wonderful body. Inside is the light of the soul, the light of the spirit. And I imagine this light in my head. And I fill my head with soul light, with peace. And I can relax. I can relax a bit more and just enjoy this moment in my own company as a being of light. And if we want extra tolerance, extra strength and resilience, we can tap into the divine light and power. We can reach out to God with our mind. So imagine the divine as a source of peace and love. Source of light and energy out there. And we are connected forever. And I let God's light surround me and embrace me. And I fill my heart and my head with God's soft power. together we are so strong that we can heal the world. So we imagine Mother Earth in front of our inner eye, and we send love and light to the earth. To all living beings. To the forest, to the waters, and the mountains, and the animals. Surround the earth with the healing power of love and light. Slowly we return back from meditation. And I'll ask you to take a deep breath. Slowly open your eyes. And come back to this room. Filled with new energy. Om Shanti. Thank you very much. I hope you could relax. Yeah.
So thank you. Thank you everyone for today. Thank you, Sonia. Thank you, Brother Golo. And thanks to everyone here who have been with us tonight. And I hope you have enjoyed much informative and experiential session both at the same time. So once again, have a good evening. Next week, same place, same time. On Tuesday, the topic is freedom from temptations. So you're more than welcome. And it will be Sister Rekha from London who's going to take the session. So thank you. Have a good evening.